Hey guys. So as you guys just heard, Qatar was hit. I'm pulling up the articles on my phone real quick. It started. If you're feeling really unsteady, go watch my previous video and we'll be talking about all the things to stay calm with and what to expect with the whole issue with Iran. But right now, Qatar was just hit and Bahrain. And I'm going to go over everything. So Iran strikes U.S. bases in Iraq and Qatar. Iranian media says several explosions heard over multiple places. Holy cow. At 5:42 and at 3:42 p.m. I'm going to play the video. Would you guys like to see it? It's wild. It is wild right now. My daughter is doing a lot better today, so that is why I am on here. I took a break from social media for my daughter. This isn't good, guys. This is not good. World War III just kicked off. That just kicked off. Ten injuries, yep, on both bases. That's what I'm going over next is the injuries. Reserves the right to respond back to the attack at 6:10 p.m. They closed their air. Trump's currently in the White House Situation Room. And for those of you that do not really fully understand where the Middle East is and where everything is, if you guys don't know that, hold on. That is Iran. That is Afghanistan. That is Iraq. And that is Qatar right down there. No, it was not nukes, but it was missiles. You guys don't even understand this. That whole area. Everyone is pissed at everybody. That is the best words I can use to describe this situation. Do I think it's a false flag? No. No. I think that we'd see more of a localized false flag. Mm-hmm. It is the U.S. Central Command Forward Headquarters. Yep. Things are, yeah, that was a match. What Jonathan just said is dead on. That was a match switch. That was when there is an instant strike like that. What do I think next? I think that they'll declare war. I mean, that's the only thing that all these media outlets have been waiting is for there actually to be a declared war. I think that's it. Oh, thanks, So Shift. It's about to get real, really fast. So let's talk about the trickle effect. When things happen in the Middle East, we're going to automatically see a trickle down effect. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. So today is the day that you are going to want to make sure that you're filling up your cars. Make sure your fuel storage. Make sure that you are revamping those. Jane, thank you so much. You just became a member. Yeah, pull money out. So here's a big thing if you guys don't know about Iran. Iran is very well known for cyber attacks. So being prepared as possible for any kind of an electronic sort of issues. Unfortunately, modern day society has really pushed digital currency like crazy. And this, once again, is it sets you up for failure if you really depend on digital currency. You filled your fuel yesterday. Yes. Thank you. Topped up your fuel reserves. That's what I'm going to go do. So when my daughter goes to dance, I'm going to go top off fuel reserves because we use a lot of our stuff. I would be worried too, Jonathan. Like, I would be worried too. I mean, I served over there for a year. So did my husband. I'm going to tell you right now where Iran is, and the fact that previous government administrations were allowing them to explore nuclear energy. That makes me so uneasy, because if you don't know about the early 2000s, when there was specific military groups hunting certain people on specific lists, and you guys can follow what I am saying, in Iraq and Afghanistan, guess where they always went to? It was literally a race to the border. If you guys don't understand that, I there's nothing more I can say on that. I would really say learn as much as you can, because we drove convoy security, and there is more than once where they've gone to different borders to cross over because groups and troops were getting closer. Iran has definitely been a center hub for that. Faraday box. Exactly. So right now, the biggest thing for you to do is make sure that if you have anything in Faraday and EMP containers or bags or EMP shields, make sure that those are connected correctly in your car. Make sure that every item that's inside those bags or Faraday containers, that you are recharging those. Those are something, as soon as the airstrike happened on Iran, that's what we did. We pulled out all of our radios and made sure that everything was charged up and put them all immediately back in. Make sure that you have a good like SOP for your family, like what to do if something was to happen. Strong Eyes coming in, sending 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Strong Eyes. Holy cow. If you just received a membership from Strong Eyes, make sure to say thank you to him. He is amazing. But make sure that you put stuff in. Also, make sure that you have a plan, like a plan in motion. I don't know. I don't know on that GP or GB. It can happen on so many different levels. There is so much that's going to go on. I would not be shocked to see a broadcast from our president. As soon as the news now is like starting to relay this, I tried to be as quick as possible. As soon as I had confirmation that it was a true source, and then we had things coming in, that's why we went live. We were live on TikTok and we came over here. So if you guys were over there, as soon as I started receiving it, I knew I had to come over here. So the things you need to be focusing on, figuring out where the holes in your preps are. Things are about to get really real. Okay. Wars, recessions, inflations, all of those things are going to hit you. My internet and my phone service has been super messed up. I actually use Starlink for most things now because I don't trust anything. I would suggest do a Faraday or build your own Faraday cage. It's really quick and simple. You can find a ton of videos all over YouTube. You can build one really quick. Yeah. I'm trying to get you guys to do exactly Gen X. Do your re-inventory. Go through, make sure you find all your preps. Like if you guys ever notice things that are behind me, most of those are things that I would care less if something happened to, because everything else is put away snug as a bug in a rug. And it's very important that you guys understand that when you're prepping, you want to make sure that you're covering all your bases. Will the UK get involved? I'm not sure. The UK does use Qatar, so that. Older ones, Andrew, older ones. Newer ones, not so much. I've tested them out a couple times, and newer ones still work, unfortunately. Let me look through really quick. Let's find. Okay, so if you guys don't understand, like Qatar Airways is a national airline, but let's talk about their allies. Okay, so Qatar has several key allies, most prominent with the United States, whom shares strategic partnership with non-NATO allies. Um, Even China uses Qatar. Like this was a big overstep. Do you guys understand that? United Kingdom, China, like this, that was I've said it before. Iran is that uncle at a family reunion where you just don't trust them to drive the vehicles and you just don't trust them in general. That was I know that sounds really silly and like a comedic way to say it, but it's very true. They just hit there. So that might be cutting at least a little bit of a tie between China and Iran. Like I'm not going to lie to you. That on only positive note on that is that's what it probably just did. Not a lot of people realize that. And then now the UK also. So that's a possibility that they could be involved very, very, very quickly. But yeah, US soldiers, yep. There's like 10 injured right now. I haven't had any information yet on how many are injured in Iraq. It's been updated. I'm getting like minute by minute updates. I mean, this all just happened. It happened about 22 minutes ago, 29 minutes ago. Things, if you guys aren't prepping, this is the time. Don't do your doom scroll. Now is the time to get very, very serious because not only are they known for cyber attacks, but they are known for a lot of others. AudiQ, thank you so much for sending 5 memberships. I appreciate it. If you guys just received a membership from AudiQ, make sure that you say thank you. She's out in Spain right now. Hi, JKR. How are you? Oh, I missed what Sally said. I didn't realize I had top comments on and not live comments. So I'm going back through your guys' comments right now. If I did not respond to you for some weird reason, I just didn't have it set up right. Yeah, this is a big swing. Like this is dropping a match next to a bunch of gasoline. Like this was the move. This was the move I expected was most likely going to happen, but I was praying to God it was not going to happen. Yeah. Iran just struck US military base in Qatar and Iraq. Now if I could just figure out how to put the emotes up over there. No, I think that there's more threats than that, but I feel like the cyber attacks Iran is very known for cyber attacks. That is something that they have been very, very well known for. Very, very, very well known for. I don't know. So many people thought that they wouldn't retaliate. I expected it would, and that's why I said you guys need to focus on your preps and your holes in your preps because that is the most important thing that you can do right now. The Dr. Pepper, I do. I like Dr. Pepper. Thanks, Sally. I don't see a physical exactly, JKR. I think it would be sleeper cells and cyber. And so that's one reason, like on my previous video, I said, make sure you pull cash out, those kind of things. You're going to want to make sure that you're filling in those holes in your preps wherever you feel like you might be lacking, whether it's your water, whether it's your solar generators, all of those. I don't know, Rebecca. I don't know. We're watching this live as it's going. Like I have every update that's happening. I'm watching minute by minute. As soon as this happened, we were live on TikTok. We swapped over here within like 12 minutes. It's here, guys. It's here. Unfortunately, it's reared its ugly head up and it's full on here. And no matter how you feel about the situation, I still don't believe. Hello, Joey. Welcome in. Welcome in. I still will never be supportive of Iran having any nuclear technology just because, sorry, I will be the person who says it every single time Saddam Hussein's guys were running from one side to the other, from Afghanistan to Iraq. They literally would cross the border and hide out in Iran. So I don't know why people thought that they wouldn't retaliate. So staying vigilant, staying aware, staying prepared, those kind of things. I don't know. So JKR, I feel like this was a very risky situation for them because China actually uses Qatar. So for them to strike there, I feel like that might have actually severed some of that relationship and that political tie. Yeah, a lot of people thought that there wouldn't be any retaliation, but we always assume things are out of our hands. We just have to assume. Yeah, that was one thing we were just talking about on TikTok, Andrew, is limiting going out into high dense and high public areas. That should just be in general, just because the world is already really, really crazy. Oh, yeah. Successfully intercepted and fired. Mm-hmm. They're right now saying that there's 10 injured right now between Iraq and Qatar. It's just not updated who is injured where. It's normally like there's little we'll do like private lives and then there is little emotes. But I'm just learning how to do that. I'm new on YouTube compared to TikTok. You're planning a trip to the beach next week? Nice. Yeah. I would say avoid high public areas. Like I'm from Utah. I'm not going to take my children or us into Salt Lake City. Even though it's quite a bit of ways, I'm still not going to because of just the risks right now. And especially with all the protests that have been happening around here. For all of you that got really upset on my video about protests and avoiding high public areas, karma did not suit you well and those comments did not age well because the person who died during those protests was in Salt Lake City and it was a bystander walking by and he got shot and killed. Just so you all know, bad people will always do bad things. So avoiding high dense areas, very important. Avoiding those super crowded areas. It's not you being paranoid, it's you being vigilant. Bad people will always do bad things. Ricky says, I barely want to leave my house. You're not the only one. I feel that on a regular basis. Do we think it could be 4th of July? I mean, that's a possibility. Hey, Colton, I asked nicely. Can you take it upstairs? Thank you. Pause it. He's having a rally I don't know if you guys can hear it in there. I don't know how much the mic picks up, but he's having a good old time in the other room. They told your son to pack his deployment bag. That's what we're waiting on. So I don't really give too much information about my family, but I'm prior service. My husband's been in for 19 years. I'm waiting to see what trickles down. What trickles down the line. Yeah, things are about to get really real. I mean, a lot of people didn't realize that there was already deployments happening prior to elections. Like, understand that like parts of our unit have been deployed out to Africa and are heading to Poland. And that was before there was a presidential change. This war machine has been in motion. Doesn't matter what side you're on or what you feel politically, that has been in motion for a while. That war machine and that war motion it's been escalating. It was just a matter of time. That's what I'm waiting for too, Andrew. That's why I have my phone open right now, is I'm just waiting to see right where they declare it. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. Hey, Maisie, how are you? I'm going to help him get set up really quick. All right, let's talk about while I step away from the camera for a moment. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be declared? Do you think it's going to be a presidential address? Do you think other countries are going to come out and forthright like speak out? Tell me down in the comments what you think is about to happen, because I mean we're exactly 40 minutes into what just happened. 40 minutes, guys. That's how fast we were quick to get over here. Okay, I'm back. For those of you guys asking about my daughter, I was just bringing her food upstairs. Yeah, I agree with that, Crazy Joe. That does make a lot of sense. Yeah, if another country stepped in, that's when definitely the red flag would be waving. My concern is sleeper cells, 100%. Yeah, nobody wants to be out in crowds right now. In this room, no. This room is just a prop room. So, just to be honest with you, most of my water storage is much bigger containers and you're on my computer setup, but I can make a video on it if you'd like to see. On one of my previous videos, you probably saw like a 750-gallon water scissor. That's one of the big containers. The windstorm felt like. Make sure you guys are slapping that thumbs up. There's 150 of you guys in here. Hello, EJ. Welcome in. Welcome in. But yeah, my daughter's been really, really sick. So we've been focused on that. And that's why I took a step away, but I'm still here for those up-to-date emergency. The other ones, when the strike happened on Iran, we were in the hospital. And then previous of that, everything else escalating up, we were in a children's hospital and it wasn't the appropriate time to record a video. But things are about to escalate very, very, very quickly. Very, very, very quickly. And so right now is the time you're going to focus in. So I want you guys to go through your rotational pantries, your long-term pantries, your water storage. Though, like, think of the three things that are going to cause you to leave your home very first, right? You have protection. If you have no way to protect your preps, I mean, that's gonna happen no matter what. Water and food, those three right there. Then you go into medical, and so on and so forth. But things are about to get really crazy. What scenario would cause you to go to the property? So WD. So Salt Lake City is quite a distance from us, but if something was to happen, obviously in the city areas and the military areas around there, like you have like Hill Air Force Base that's further up north, all of that, anything that was to happen there, we would bug. We would leave. Just because we have a clear line of entrance to go get to our property, and it is so far out and it is very extremely remote. We're not even worried about other people knowing where it is. Like, it's so far out there. Somebody would really have to like go. Sleeper cells are like one of my biggest concerns. 100%. Oh, nice. But obviously it looks like war is pertinent. I mean, it has been a vicious cycle going on. I have a video that I've been editing now for like a week and a half because I wasn't getting sleep. My daughter was so sick and so ill that it talks about all of the US's known recessions and then conflicts attached to all of those recessions. I feel like the war machine has already been it's been in a slow effect, right? Just one thing, then another country, and then just slowly trickling, proxies this, proxies that. Just a little, it's been a slow grind. And now all of a sudden they've thrown a match in and it's going, and that's where everybody is starting to get concerned. So you're going to want to beat those panic buyers, right? Those people who have put you down, put the ideas that you have even thought about, family members that are like, why are you doing this? This is crazy. You shouldn't be prepping. That is a very big concern. Okay. That's a very, very big concern. All those people are now going to be like, oh my gosh, here we go. You know, it's like we've seen this story before. Welcome in, Vince. Yeah. So, Isla, that's what I was saying before, was making sure that you have cash on hand. I mean, Iran is well known for cyber attacks. So think about it, right? I want you to think about the idea of a cyber attack, okay? Financial, hospitals, banking, all those things could be hit, but then you got to think bigger picture. Obviously, we're preppers, grid, water, those kind of things. And that's why I'm saying make sure you're going through your preps, making sure that you're finding any of those holes in your preps, recalibrating yourself and saying, okay, this is where I'm lacking. This is where I need to go and do. And a lot of people get into prepping burnout mode. And I feel like right now with what's happening, everyone's going to be in overdrive. So you're going to want to beat that. Yeah. Well, exactly, Mimi, and that's what that whole video was about, was you can control what you're doing. You can't control the world's affairs. And then now, I mean, everything's in overdrive, right? It's been a slow machine going to World War III, and that just escalated even further. And I know a lot of people get very mad no matter which way you look at it. Sorry, I'm getting updates. New update just given. Iran gave advance warnings ahead of the strike. Does that even make sense? Let's be really for real right now. Iran gave advanced warnings ahead of strikes. Yeah, it was Jess. Oh, nice, True Blue. They did. Maybe. Maybe to show strength to their people. Questionable. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's questionable. We will see. We'll see what happens. I'm just waiting as updates keep coming in. I mean, things are escalating very, very, very quickly. Apparently. There's still people that are injured. Sorry, my phone is updating right now. Yeah. Iran launched missile attacks against the U.S. base in the Middle East. Iran's missiles have been targeted. I can never say this name. It's the Udeid Air Base in Qatar, while air defense systems were activated in the Al Assad Air Base in Iraq. Explosions were overheard over Doha shortly after Qatar shut down airspace. Yep, they shut down their airspace, and then that's when the explosions started. The White House said that they're closely monitoring potential threats at the air base. The base is the home to the U.S. CENTCOM headquarters. British military personnel also serve there in rotation. Okay, so, Britain's going to be immediately involved, unfortunately. However, many planes have been moved in the recent weeks. Satellite imaging shows it comes after Iran's armed air forces threatened on Monday to do serious, unpredictable, and consequences on the U.S. after carried out heavy strike on 3 nuclear sites. Yeah. Who else in here is tired of these once-in-a-lifetime events? Like, I remember in middle school, like, going to the job fair, and they're like, "What do you wanna be?" And you start naming off these different jobs, and then now here I am. It's like, just name off all the once in a lifetime events. Let's talk about them. Let's get to the nitty-gritty, because at this point, that's a whole new job. It's a whole new job. There's a few of us out here on social media that are, like, constantly, like, monitoring all these once in a lifetime events. You can only have so many once in a lifetimes. Once in a lifetime times this. Yeah. New update. So 25 minutes ago, finally that one's quoted out. Iran gave advance warnings of US strikes. Okay, that information came 15 minutes ago. But 20 minutes ago, Iran threatens to collapse US bases. We're going to war. That is simple in that. I'm really sorry to say that. I'm normally not the fearmonger, but collapse US bases. Collapse. That's a pretty aggressive term. That is a very aggressive term. Iran's Revolutionary Guards have warned that American bases across the regime or the region were a major weak points and an Achilles heel and warmongering regime rather than a source of strength. It threatened to do further attacks on Iran would accelerate the collapse of US American or the collapse of American military pillars in the region. The Islamic Republic of Iran is relying on the Almighty God and faithful. Oh, here we go again. Anybody else? Ohio. Serious question on here was Iran nukes, and yes, it was actually Ohio girl. There was actually people that were extremely upset. So what happened is it's before Biden. Obama actually put into motion for them to have nuclear facilities. That was actually the decline of his presidency. The the last 4 years of it. He put into a lot of emotions, and a lot of other countries were getting very, very upset about that. Not a lot of people understand that. Um, a lot of people were really, really upset. And if you go back to when our president now, but former President Trump, when he was running against Hillary during her presidential campaign actually wanted to remove any nuclear structures from Iran completely. Yep. What you just said it. Lomas, you just said it. Puget Sound is well known for their nuclear submarines. Keep an eye. Keep an eye. If you're in the Puget Sound area in Washington, I would say things are about to get really real. So, like the war machine has been going for years. We just have to have our completely open towards it. That is the reason why long range missiles, Ukraine using long range missiles against Russia, why a lot of us, we were like, what are you doing? Once you start escalating, it just continues to escalate even further. It doesn't really matter where people think on it. Ohio, the only reason I know these things is when I was deployed, I was extremely anti-Bush. I did not like Bush. I deployed during his presidency and we changed over to Obama. And when that started to happen and he started defunding a lot of the bases while we were actively deployed, it put us at risk. And he honestly, that was where I decided all politics are the same bird. They're just two different wings, because he would go on press conferences and name a base in Iraq and say, this area is really safe. See, the war is going away. But mind you, I drove convoy security, and that exact same week, we got hit by 7 IEDs. And I was like, he's lying. He's lying to you. He is lying to you. And my mom would call me and she goes, did you hear the war is going to be over soon? There's nothing going on out there. And I was like, we just got tore the fuck up last night. Excuse my language. We got tore up. What are you talking about? So, same bird. It's a war machine. They're pushing for war. It doesn't matter what is in charge. It's the same wings, unfortunately. It's okay. We can't hear him. You hear my son playing in the other room. Yeah, if he's asking for an urgent release of oil supply, it's trying to combat what prices are about to go up. So making sure that you restock up on all your fuel supply. If you've used any of it, we use it all the time. When we go out to the property, I'm running different generators, all kinds of stuff like that. So I'm constantly cycling through fuel reserves, but I'm going to go increase a lot of our fuel reserves because of it. More information on the Puget Sound. The Puget Sound is one of the #1 nuclear submarine outposts, if you did not know, in the United States. And then you also have, what is the one out of Bremerton, Washington? Puget Sound Naval. Does that sound correct? And then you got, I'm going to say Fort Lewis because I'm old. But Joint Base, Fort Lewis McChord, whatever, blah, blah, blah base. Absolutely. Aubrey's like Fort Lewis. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're threatening to shut down oil. Hello, welcome in, Dragonbird. Welcome in. What do you recommend for money and cash? What you can afford to have offhand, not in your bank accounts. That is not like, remember, do not Y2K prep, guys. I don't want to see you guys pulling out your savings and missing your bills. Like, pay your bills, pull out what you have that's extra, because cash is king. It really, truly is. Because when card machines go down, how many times have you guys ever been to a store and a card machine goes down? They're like, oh, well, we'll accept cash over here. And nobody has cash. I always have cash on me. Like, I can literally open this drawer up and there's cash right there. I have cash everywhere. How many of you guys have ever been in a situation where the card readers don't work or it's cash only? And there's so many people who do not use any cash whatsoever. Now, cash is collapsible. I'm not saying that forever. Okay. Cash will collapse. Okay. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying, say there is a cyber attack and say something is, it is good to have cash on hand. It always is. Yep. Unless they realize cash is useless. That, yeah. It's good for a couple days. What JKR said. That's why I said cash is king for a moment. And that's where you want to just have that set aside. But that's like, there's other people out there that's like gold and silver, gold and silver. How many of you guys know what the value of an ounce of silver is, or the value of an ounce of gold? Now, I'm going to say most of you guys are seasoned, so you probably do. But in real life society, right? Before there is a societal collapse. Sorry, there is flies in here because I had all my windows open because I have plants down here. But you're going to have that brief moment. Gold and silver are only great for the rebuild. That's it. They're only great for the rebuild. If somebody said, I have gold, will you trade blah, blah, blah with me? I probably would be like, no, absolutely not. It's useless to me right this moment. Yeah, gold and silver is long-term. Yep. Bartering is amazing. Yep. Those will always like have such an immense value. Oh, I agree with silver. Or on Silverhawk, what he said, like, it's lost a lot of value. Cash has lost a ton of value. I mean, look at inflation alone. It's lost so much value. I mean, we have to head for an event to LA. And I don't know how I feel about that right now. Western North Carolina stores. Yep. Oh, I agree. 100. Silverhawk just said. Fishing hooks would hold more value than cash eventually. I agree with that 100%. I actually see that more now with inflation than most people do. I'm guessing you like to hunt and fish. That's what I'd like to do. For us, like when we go out hunting and we have extra meat and we're trading with friends, like we'll trade with friends. Oh, it holds quite a value, quite a value. Brooke is like, I have my own lake in my backyard. That she does actually. She's like, good thing I have those in bulk. It does. It does really matter. We have family texting. About what just happened. Think that those days would know how to use. Most people don't. Most people don't even like to go fishing, unfortunately. Where am I seeing updates? Telegraph. It's one thing that most don't understand. Michelle, I kind of agree with you. I think the war machine has been on like full spin, and this is just we're finally just seeing the fire ignite, and it should be very, very, very alarming where we're going. Things are not they're not looking great, and we have to be very honest. So if you have holes in your preps, instead of focusing on nothing's ever going to happen, or oh, I only want to focus on this set area of prepping. A lot of people get stuck in, I call it the tech prep. Nothing against tech prep. Love it. It's not really my jam. I don't really like it that much, but a lot of people get really like obsessive over tech prep. And I've met a ton of those guys. And most of the time I'm like, do you use any Faraday? And they're like, well, for some. And I'm like, but what happens when something does happen? All right, Code Red, have a good one. Audie Q, thank you so much for sending the memberships. Today I have to get those emotes up. But yeah, direct hit on our military bases, that things aren't looking good. This is about to get extremely rowdy. Just be prepping, stay very alert and very aware, avoid high. I mean, for those who didn't think that there would be any retaliation, I think that there would be. I don't even understand how people didn't think there would be any retaliation. I don't even think that this retaliation is as escalated as I think that they would put into motion. So sleeper cells, those kind of things, you're going to want to really think about those. Avoiding high dense areas, making sure that you're filling in those preps in your hole, like holes in your preps, because you never know. Things could always get a lot worse. If you just received a membership from AudieQ, make sure that you say thank you down into the comments. That was very kind of her. She's gifted out like 10 memberships today. If you don't have your antibiotics. Yeah, if you can't hold it, you don't own it. I agree with that. 100%. Yeah, Brooke J, that's kind of where I thought. I was like, but also there's been a lot of misinformation out there, but I'm not sure if it's misinformation or just preemptive. Talking about the 4th of July. That is what's coming up next. Welcome in, Freebie Queen. Yep. Put your paper maps into your cars. That's one thing, is making sure that you know your routes by heart too, and alternate routes along with your maps. A lot of people nowadays are so dependent on this guy right here. They're super dependent on it. Yeah, they did. They hit Iraq too. Welcome in, Lowbro. Things are about to get really wild. They're saying 0 casualties. I believe it's 10 injuries that are being reported. 10 is the last time I checked. Let me check again. Yeah, we were quicker than PBS, CNN. Hold on, I'm looking. We were quick. There's still no update on the injuries. I'm about to print out MapQuest directions. Mm-hmm. I really did think that the sleeper cells would be awake too, which I think that that means that that could be delayed out. That could be a bigger plan. Honestly, when it comes down to prepping, I always believe in sleeper cells. That's just something I've always believed in. It's things I've seen. Um, it's just very important that you guys understand that that could be part of a much bigger plan. I agree with that, Silverhawk. If people were really concerned about the B-2 bombers, those are going to be flying like crazy. I 100% see that. Like I will not be shocked if this is I will not be shocked. I mean, most of the time when it's come down to World War titles, they wait for certain countries and certain things to actually address it and call it that. Until then, it's not considered a world war. But we've been very close to there. And now I think this will probably do it. This will probably. It's either that or China. Oh, thanks, Freebie Queen. I mean, things are about to get extremely rowdy. And for all of you guys just need to keep prepping. I'm glad we got on live on here for the last hour. We went over it right as it was happening. I mean, we were really quick. I mean, how many minutes do you think after it happened? I think within 10 minutes we were live, correct? I believe that's what it is. Make sure that you hit that thumbs up button. It's not like TikTok. The hearts don't really do anything for me, but the thumbs up help a ton when it comes to doing these lives. We're still learning. We're still getting better live setup for over here. But Megan's like less. I think we're very, very, very close. I mean, this is. I mean, they're making threats that they're going to level and collapse other military bases. Think about other places that we have military bases. United Arab, Jordan, Syria. That's a lot. Give you better idea of where our troops are. That's better for you guys to understand. Just so you guys understand. You got Bahrain, you got Qatar, you got Kuwait. Yeah, things are about. I'm sorry, AudiQ. Yeah, almost 40,000. Yeah. Right? Isn't it like 45,000 military personnel in the Middle East? I could be wrong, Gorilla, but I believe it's 45,000 between like the naval fleets and everything. I believe it's 45 or 40. You're really close. Like I feel like we're both right there on the numbers. Silver's coming in with some good humor in this, at least. You were stationed in Al Assad. I've been to Al Assad a lot. Camp Liberty. Nice. Oh, yeah. I was at Al Taqaddum. TQ. You're waiting for the UK to get itself involved to stay. Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, nice. I know, right? Well, I'm going to get off of this live. I'm going to keep you guys updated. If anything else happens, we'll go live immediately. I'm going to get my daughter off to another appointment. We're about to see. Welcome in, John. Welcome in. Things are about to get just look at your holes in your preps. That's the first one. People are going to go to try to panic buy your fuel reserves. Make sure that those are up to date. Medications are up to date. Those kind of things. Have cash on hand for those smaller inconveniences. But you guys just go through your rotational pantry. Like, for instance, I'm going to just rotate my laptop a little bit so you guys can see it just a little bit better. But for instance, my daughter's been so sick that you're going to notice there's going to be some holes on that shelf. That's a rotational pantry. That's what we use all the time. But I'd been pulling a ton of bone broth and different vegetables that I can up all year long. There's holes in there. And so now I need to replenish those. But I also want to make sure that my long-term food storage, if I have any holes in there, such as protein, those kind of things, make sure that you're like replenishing those holes, fill in those holes. I have things listed down in the description bar if you're looking for anything specific. I work with Jase Medical. I love Jase. Jase was actually just on our TikTok live on the other app. And you can use Frugal 10, save a ton of money if you want to. That's your choice. If you don't want to, it doesn't hurt my feelings none. But making sure that all your medications, like you probably see behind me, that Jase case right there, that's my 13-year-olds. We have Jase cases for all of our kids, for all the adults. It's just be vigilant about what's happening. Make sure that your water storage is up to date. I've been actually refilling a ton of our water storage because I've been taking out to the property to put it in the rain barrels just for the garden that I'm growing out there because I'm amending soil, which takes time, guys. I'm trying to go through all your guys' comments. But yeah, Jase Medical's phenomenal. Freeze Dry Wholesalers, phenomenal. I'm working now with Mountain House, also phenomenal. Those are all things that I use on a regular basis. When I'm out hunting, my Mountain House is always in my bags because I'm always out or fishing. Especially with hiking, backpacking, those kind of things. They're awesome, awesome, awesome. But Freeze Dry Wholesalers is like one of my favorite ones that we eat out on the property all the time because we are so remote that there's no way. If you're missing an ingredient, you're not going to run to the store, which is great to have a ton. So that's one thing I have to go through is be like, oh, which have I used on my long-term food storage and the shelf stable, and what do I need to replace? So making a list, being very active on your list, making sure that you're going through, figuring out your holes. For us, a lot of our holes, we have a lot of solar out on the property, but not enough. So that is another hole that I need to make sure that I'm like filling in. But that stuff costs money. It's expensive. I'm just like you. I save my money and then I invest it into my preps. So go through your stuff. Make sure that your fuel reserves are topped off. Make sure that you are really going through. Check your holes. Stay vigilant. Please avoid super crowded areas. I really think sleeper cells are a very big possibility. And I'm hoping to God I'm wrong. I would pray to God I'm wrong on that. But just stay away from those, please. Like, just, it was the same with the protests. I received a lot of hate on that video, and people were like, the protests were just fine in my area, blah, 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 blah. And Salt Lake City, that's where the person got shot and killed. Gonna be very, very, very blunt with you. It didn't age well. For those who said nothing is gonna happen, it didn't age well, and somebody died right there in Salt Lake City. And Salt Lake's pretty peaceful compared to a lot of other areas. So just stay vigilant, stay on top of it. Keep prepping, go through your preps. I'll be posting a video tonight. If anything new happens, once in a lifetime events, we'll be going live immediately. So make sure that you hit that follow button, that thumbs up button. You guys can come back and we will do a live if anything happens. And thank you guys so much for checking on my daughter. It's meant a lot. I'm sorry that I took such a long step away. Her health is my number one priority. Changed a lot of our prepping around with these new conditions that she has to make sure that we are covering all of our bases. So been focusing solely on that and making sure that she gets better and as healthy as possible. So, and I appreciate you guys checking in on us. I'm sorry that I haven't been around, but I promise I will. But have a wonderful day and stay vigilant, fill in those preps and keep prepping.